What up, y'all? It's your boy Can Too. If I can, you can too. This is Ridin High Sports. We live from Ridin High Podcast Studios. Man, I got a great guest with me. You can already tell it's the homeboy TJ. He's in the building. What's going on, man? How you
doing?
Good, man. It's been a minute, man.
You're damn right. It's been a minute. Holy crap! It seems like yesterday. It seems like yesterday we were talking about Colorado football. Facing Bo Nix in Oregon.
Yep.
And here we are. Bowl season's here. Heisman's already been announced. And I'm just excited to see what's going to go down here in the bowl season, especially with several games that I'm really intrigued with.
Yeah, no, most def. It's crazy because so if y'all know anything, you're a fan of the show. Episode 1, TJ was our very first guest. He was here. We talked about what's going on with like college sports, with football, what was happening at the time. The Olympics was going on. We were talking about the Ryder Cup. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. He was here for that. Great start off to the season for the episode of Ridin High Sports. Continuing strong. We bring him back because we said like at the end of that episode we had to bring him back because we weren't going to want to talk about bowl games. We were going to talk about all the matchups, what's going on. And you already know because that dude did his thing on his picks that week. Was a guru. He wasn't lying. High school, college football guru. Dude knows his stuff. That's why we have him back here. We have him for the show. He's a crowd favorite. Everybody loves him. Just again, really quick for all the fans, if they didn't catch you on episode 1, TJ, let them know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and all that good stuff.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at TJRid10_PNP, where I have a lot of hot takes about football. Normally football. You might see some ridiculous white people shit on there, or some other things that are on there. You can also check me out after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Pigskin Mafia podcast will be back.
Okay, PNP's coming back.
A week after the Super Bowl. I'll have to check my schedule, check in with my producer who is attending the University of Nevada. Wolfpack Nation, baby.
Shout out to Wolfpack. Shout out to your producer.
J-Mo,
what's up, bro? Shout out. Hey, you know what? Real quick, shout out to our intern that's always here. I always give him a hard time. Gary, you do a great job. Shout out to Gary. Give Gary a shout out.
Yeah. Let's give him a couple of claps, man.
Gary gets a couple of claps. If you're watching the season, we give him a hard time a lot. Gary, you do a great job. Great stuff with the stats, but thank you.
Yeah. And also, we're not only going to have the PNP come on, we're going to try to get guests on like Coach JB.
Okay.
Who I actually had him cameo the Ingleside Mustang football team. Former Colorado Buffalo. I'm going to try to get this guy on too, Matt McChesney.
Okay.
Who used to play with Joel Klatt.
Yeah. Wait.
So
Fox Sports interaction right there.
Yeah.
Joe Klatt, man. Big shout out to him in the Klatt show. We watched him.
Yeah.
Big fan. We were just watching him earlier before we hopped on.
And also I'm going to try to get some local talent around the Corpus Christi area.
Nice, bro.
That is progressed after high school, like J.C. Smith. He's a UNT commit.
Okay.
He actually will be playing with Xavier Bryce, who just transferred from Texas. So that will be an interesting story. And I think from the last time I talked to him, which was Monday, they got him at defense.
Okay.
Instead of having him on offense, which we all know the story on J.C. Smith. The real ones know.
Well, no, in case they don't, let them know real quick. Give them the Cliff Notes version. Give them the Cliff Notes, mush it down so we get back into it. But real quick.
Long story short, this kid, J.C. Smith, is unbelievable. I call him Mr. Dynamic for a reason. Ingleside Mustang, number 7, out there in Ingleside, Texas. He tied the single season national record. National, for those that don't know what that means, national means the entire country.
The whole country.
39 receiving touchdowns in a single season.
Yo.
But the kid gets little credit.
Little
recognition.
Little recognition. Very little.
So
and the guy he tied, who did he tie?
Kid from Navasota.
That's right, my boy Juice. Shout out to him and that Minnesota homeboys. He really is my homeboy. Really good DJ Little Kid could tell you, man. We got him on the FaceTime the other day. We're gonna try to get him on the podcast on the show, talking about some college stuff that he was. Dude was a beast.
Yeah,
dude was a beast in the All-American game. And really cool, nice guy. But yeah, that's exactly who he tied. And I'm telling you, when I hang out with Juice, and I've been standing next to him. The dude's he's pretty good size, athletic. I've seen him on the court. He can move, so I can only imagine what he does on the field. If anything like my boy Juice, this guy is a superstar and is going to do some things, which is a shame that he's not getting the credibility.
And you know what's interesting?
That he needs.
You know what's interesting? That kid had 84 receptions. Out of 39 touchdowns and 84 receptions, damn near half of his touchdowns were reception, or half his receptions were touchdowns.
Yeah, and dude was amazing. Dude did really great numbers. Really cool. Check him out. Put him in. But like I said, our boy TJ, he's here. We're gonna get right into it. It's the Ridin Night Sports, episode 10, y'all. Episode 10.
That's my number.
Big. You know what I'm saying? That's why we brought him back.
Number 10.
He was here for number 1. Now we're back for number 10. We've been doing it 12 weeks strong. We had a couple bye weeks, just like, anybody else in the professional team. We got to pay bills.
So you went the SEC route.
We had 2 bye weeks. We could blame Gary for that later. All right. Well, it's all right.
Come on, Gary.
But no, we're going right into it. It's been a while since it's been broadcast and but we have our college football playoff.
Yes.
Right? We have number 1 through 4.
Yep.
Give me your take from 1 through 4 when they were being announced, number 1 to number 4. What you got?
I'm going to tell you straight up. I was not surprised with the outcome.
Okay.
I knew that Florida State was going to get kicked out for multiple reasons, but the main reason was the strength of schedule. Everybody was going to look at the strength of schedule, strength of ranking, and strength of conference ranking. People viewed the ACC as a weak conference, which we can't really blame anybody 10 years ago that scheduled Florida State to face Furman or Northern Alabama. However,
no, but
you start off with number 1, Michigan. Everybody seems to be really impressed with Michigan because they've looked consistent all year running the ball. J.J. McCarthy has played some really good games, and got to be honest, he had some hiccups.
You did
this year. Defense looks good. They're going to have a tough test against Nick Saban and Alabama.
They are.
Alabama looks like the most improved team in the playoff. By far.
They do. They look like they've grown a lot since the beginning of the year.
And for the whole scandal, and I give a lot of credit to those kids up in Michigan for staying focused on the field. And I kind of regret calling them fraudulent.
I mean, I don't
know when they struggled against Maryland for one. For two,
a lot of teams struggled this year,
and that's where I'm going with. You got to give a lot of credit to those kids because they dealt with a lot of outside noise, and they were able to finish off strong with a perfect season. And I know
you know where I'm going to go with this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not.
And I do feel the same way about the Big Ten.
Okay.
So number 2, Washington, who I think had a much tougher schedule than Michigan. Honestly, should be number 1, but we're not going to go that far with it.
I don't know.
I did have Michigan and Washington in the right spots, though, and also Texas and Alabama. That was my take anyway, but I'm glad I got it right. Because I know everything. But anyway,
he knows it all. He is a guru. He is a guru.
But anyway, back to Washington and being serious about this. I think Washington has a really good quarterback and a very well balanced offense. And Roman Duns should have gotten the Blittenkoff. I think that kid deserves a lot more credit than Marvin Harrison Jr. because Marvin Harrison Jr. only got.
Okay, so we're going to go into that a little bit here in a minute.
Yeah.
We're not going to jump into that.
Yeah.
I agree with a certain extent, not to who you think should have won it.
Yeah.
Because I have somebody else that I think should have won it.
I think I might have an idea.
But we'll jump into that.
There's
we're jumping
tons
in.
of names.
But yeah, going back to what you're saying, yeah, Washington, yeah, they did what they needed to do. They went undefeated. They're a conference champion.
Yeah.
They stepped up. They played some great teams. I think people really did believe Oregon was a better team than what they were. I don't think Oregon should have been as ranked as high as they've been.
No,
I don't
absolutely
think
not.
I don't think. I think in the committee, and this could have been something, and it could just be my own ideas. But I believe that maybe the committee thought Oregon was better than what they were,
and
it
what's
was a
funny?
reason to, and that was why they, it was such a big deal, and that's why Oregon was favored for the championship over Washington. When I think they should have never been favored.
I agree. I do agree with that. And I was one of the few people that did say that I did pick Oregon to win, but I think Washington should have been favored.
Yes, they should have.
I thought Oregon would have learned against Washington the first time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I picked against Washington, and Washington proved me wrong. And they played a terrific game.
Yeah.
And seeing the Texas and Washington rematch of last year's Alamo Bowl, for one, as a fan, it's a great pleasure to go back on the revenge tour of 2023. But as a non-biased college football fan, this is money.
Got you.
Because
Gotcha.
I think that semifinal matchup is the marquee matchup to see who is going to win the national title.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say who's going to win the national title because, for one, that'll jinx it. For two, that
I mean, I have an idea who you're rooting for.
y'all, everybody knows who I'm going to be.
Yeah,
rooting
we
for.
all know who you're rooting for.
But
we all know who you're rooting
but
for.
in realistic terms, I think that
It's
Washington.
Texas, by the way, in case you don't know.
If you don't know, you live underneath a rock, and
Yeah, he's going for Texas.
yeah. I think this matchup between Washington and Texas is going to be in the record books, like as far as one of the best games that we've seen in a long time. And then you bring up Michigan versus Alabama, which, again, Alabama is the most improved team in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they are. They without a doubt.
And then Michigan, they rely a lot on the run game, Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. Notice I put Donovan Edwards in front of Blake Corum.
I did.
You know why? Because I think Donovan Edwards is slightly better.
He is. I mean, the way he has a little bit more of like a flair and thing on him.
Yeah.
You see him on the field where you can see that.
And it's not a knock on Blake Corum at all.
No,
it's not. I love Blake Corum. I think he runs with a purpose, and he reminds me of old school football. I mean, I forgot what game it was. He cut his nose bridge up and was bleeding all over the place and still playing the game. You know, that's what I love about college football. What I don't love is, which we will get into later, the transfer portal.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
But as far as the first two out, which they will be playing in a bowl game against each other, which there's rumors spreading around that game may not happen. Florida State and Georgia. Georgia fans are some of the most delusional people if they thought they were going to get in the playoff.
Let's talk about that. 'Cause that's what he wanted.
No. All right. For people in the background, that's our producer. That's DJ Lil King. He in the background.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
by
shout
the
out to him. Right, we're out here Ridin High Podcast Studios and everything. He just stepped in. He wasn't paying attention to what we talked about. He thinks this is from a previous conversation we had before camera. But no. But yeah, it's Florida State, Georgia. I know a lot of people are mad about that. I'm not upset or anything. I think Georgia should have been number 4 over Bama, but that's because I've never seen a number 1 drop out of a number 4 spot. Like we
That's-
talked about earlier, like that's the first time it happened this year. We've never seen it. We've never seen a conference champion undefeated not in the top 4, and then we've never seen somebody from number 7 or 8 jump into the top 4. So it's a big thing. So it's all different. So everybody's like shocked. Of course, it's also the last year. Next year, it's a 12-year. It's a 12-team playoff, so they can do it. It's a good way to go out with a bang.
And here's why I say no to Georgia over Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama controlled that game.
They did.
They did not allow Georgia to get ahead of them the entire game. You know, so for being a back-to-back champion, to me that's an excuse to use politicking. And I'm sorry.
But I mean,
I'm sorry, Georgia fans. I loved Georgia this season, but Alabama should have been number 4 over Georgia. Now the more controversial take is Florida State and Alabama, not Georgia. And
very true, very true, very true.
Because.
But I don't like how Alabama uses, well, we just beat Georgia, a team that's gone 20 nights straight. And this, well, if they were that good, why did you drop them out so large? Like, see, that argument doesn't make sense to me, right? That to me, I thought either way it was going to be an SEC team.
Yeah.
One SEC team was going to be in this playoff. That was going to be regardless.
Technically 2 SEC teams.
They should, yeah.
And 2 Big Ten teams now.
But, you know, I thought that was going to be. It was either going to be Georgia or Bama in there. It was going to be one of the two. I knew Florida State wasn't going to get in. I always had them at 5. I just don't like the reasoning of the committee and why they're talking about it. That to me is.
It's honestly a shame.
It is. It is.
It's honestly a shame that Jordan Travis didn't get a chance to play the rest of the season. And also, I think they looked at it as they can't win without Jordan Travis. And like if they competed in the college football playoff, or in this case, they're going to play against Georgia.
And to me, that's a travesty because to your credit and to your point that you made earlier, Michigan went on without a coach and won 3 games. They did this without their best player on their team and did it in a championship game in their conference.
Yeah.
And then did it with the 3rd-string quarterback and not only a 2nd-string quarterback. Not saying they deserve to be in the playoff, but credit is where credit is due. They had only these cards. They had the cards that was dealt with them, and they won with the cards that were dealt. And that, to me, is a key sign of a team that is incohesive with each other, where they're strong, they're all building, everybody's chemistry is kicking. So no matter who goes in and out, we still move forward, regardless of the score, regardless how ugly it is. You play the game on the field.
My thing is, at the end of the season, they were not one of the best 4 teams.
And I like I repeatedly said before that, I never had him in. My excuse, my problem is their excuse why they weren't in. I don't like how they just put it on Jordan Travis, and I think that's wrong to blame one player. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Because it's why the team plays. Because you can't tell me you're going to credit somebody for not having a head coach when you don't have somebody that's actually on the field making a real difference.
In my mind,
in college, no, you can't. It's the
coach,
same.
A head coach being suspended is different than losing a quarterback.
That's where I was going to go with that.
A head coach being suspended, there's still 11 other assistant coaches. There's not 11 other, and you got to realize.
And they still won.
You got to realize, when in football, especially college football, those players are led by their position coach.
Yes.
The head coach is just the controller of the whole thing.
So it's insignificant.
The coach is the one who says, go in, come out.
So it's insignificant that the head coach wasn't there. Right? Because their position coaches are the ones that coached it, is what you're telling me. That is the argument I'm hearing.
Let me ask you a question. Is Jordan Travis a play caller? Is he a play caller?
I have no idea.
No.
But no, probably no.
Because
no.
Jordan Travis is just the guy that receives the play and he, makes a play, right?
Uh-huh.
Jim Harbaugh is a play caller. He calls the plays. He is able to lead not only his offense, not only his defense, his team. It's a completely different scenario than Jim Harbaugh and Jordan Travis. We can't compare we can't compare green apples to granny or golden apples, golden delicious apples.
No, I get that.
Because you're talking about a player.
I'm asking what's more significant.
What's more significant is a play caller being out and Michigan being able to do what they're able to do without their play caller. A player, and this is a horrible thing to say. I'm going to put this on record. It is a horrible thing to say. I do not wish this upon anybody. But a football player, like myself, like many others I played with or played against, or college level, high school level, whatever level it is, they're irreplaceable. You can't replace a head coach that easily. The best you could do is have an interim head coach for 1, 2, 3 games. With Jordan Travis, you got the backup who is supposed to learn from him and able to do the same thing. Florida State's quarterbacks cannot do the same thing.
I understand that, but you just said it's more irreplaceable to lose a head coach.
No.
I'd rather play against the team that's missing their starting quarterback than the team
that's missing their head coach. Okay, I'm saying that, but I feel like
what happens most of the time whenever the head coach gets fired, the interim coach comes in.
Yeah.
Usually wins 2 or 3 games. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and that's why I said, and
case in point, Texas A&M.
And that's why I'm saying them losing them and still winning. And not skipping a beat, like in the sense, like they're still winning. They still did what they needed. It don't matter. They won.
It's an eye test, bro. You have to realize.
I get that, but if the eye test, but the eye test is complete,
that is a horrible term to use.
Thank you. No, it's not a figure skating. It ain't a judging. Like I feel
time out with the
a win's a win.
So we're gonna
a win's a win.
We're gonna call a timeout on this because eye test is the most sickening term. You know, they used Oregon as the eye test against Washington.
Yes, that's
why
they
favored them.
That's why I don't like
it. They favored them 9.5 points, and guess what happened?
Washington won.
Took care of business.
So don't do an eye test when it comes to Florida State when they lose the quarterback. That is my argument. And that is my argument. I understand they shouldn't be in the playoffs, but don't tell me that is the reason why they're not in the playoff. That is messed up. Yeah, I rather that is. But if they win, if it's a defensive game that wins, because we're gonna go into the semifinals, and I'm gonna talk about y'all's defenses. And if I just give you the numbers, you're not even gonna tell me they're one of the top semifinal people that should be in there. And I'll give you Florida State's numbers, and they're gonna be better than those numbers.
But who have they played?
I'm not telling you. What are they ranked? It's all about your numbers, right? You're going about schedule. But you go about all your numbers. It's how you do anything. Same thing with a Heisman. Same thing when you do any award. You're going to go by the stats. You're going to go by that individual team because that's how you look at it if you're not going to go by the eye test, right?
You do know that Texas is the top 5 in rushing defense.
Yeah, they're number 4, but they're also going against somebody that's like number 100. But then you look at their defense, it's number 95 in the country for passing defense, going up against the number 1 passing yard offense in the country, right?
I'm telling you, Trey Benson
is that not true or not?
Trey Benson
you're going to tell me
you're able to run against
because Texas's defense and passing defense, they're number 9 right here, number 96 in the country,
but they're still able to win.
Yeah, I mean, so what does it matter if Florida State's able to win on defense and not offense?
Because
it's just not pretty. I get it. It's not pretty.
Time of possession matters.
To me, it's you win, you lose, you lose. You win, you lose. That's. I just felt like you win, you lose. They got cheated. They didn't make it. It's okay. I just don't like the reasoning. And I can argue for them because I feel like everybody's just giving them because of this. Yeah. No, they did everything they needed to do. It's like going to a job interview. I had all my qualifications. I got my degree. I put in the work. I put in the hours, and then they say no because you think I'm not fit for it.
So it is like a job interview.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
You're right.
Who's going to be the sexiest hire? A team that beat a back-to-back national champion.
The sexiest hire isn't deserving. It's just what you think's right. It's an opinionated matter, and that's fine. Just tell me that, and I'm okay with it. And that's what I was getting at.
And you know what I'm about to say? There is no right answer.
No, there's not. You're right.
And honestly, that was the correct answer.
Yeah.
Instead of Florida State.
I understand their argument.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock their argument. That's the thing.
Job application comparison or job comparison, I would look at it like you're a better worker, but TJ has no flaws on his record.
Yeah, I got you.
Worker,
I got you.
so,
yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
So TJ's gonna get the promotion because he has
Yes.
no flaws on his
Yeah,
record. Even
and-
though you're a way
Wait,
better
but-
worker than him.
Yeah,
and
I could be the laziest sack of shit at
Yeah.
whatever job I do.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything on my record, dude.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Dude,
that is very true.
I could
Bro,
tell
very
you
true. 'cause
so
it's-
many
yes,
stories.
Yes,
So many
bro,
stories
you
in
don't
my
even gotta
naval
tell
career.
me. You don't gotta tell me.
In my
we
naval
know.
career, yeah, exactly.
Yes. It
I've
happens to a
seen-
lot of people out there. A lot of good people out there. It happens. But that's why I say I do understand where Florida State's coming from.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dismiss everything that they've done because I feel what they have done and what they've accomplished this season is amendable. I
Yeah.
feel like it should be amendable, especially losing their quarterback those last 3 weeks and
Now-
still continuing undefeated season because that is very hard to do. Now, if they don't compete against Georgia, then yes, they overwhelming committee had the right idea. But if they blow out Georgia, what was the committee right?
Exactly. That's a good. That's where I was gonna go.
Georgia, in my mind, they could claim a national championship straight up.
Yeah,
Okay.
they could be like
DJ Little
UCF.
King said, "See, I just argue both sides. Like I see both.
Yeah, and here's gonna be my next question. So, if you think you deserve to be in the playoff, and you're about to face a back-to-back national champion, and you think you could beat Georgia, why would it be necessary to sue?
But that's not the that's the attorney general for the state of Florida.
No,
that has
no,
nothing to do with
that's-
that. No, because there's a lot of different lawsuits that are going out. So it's not
Yeah.
misconstrued. So it's not misconstrued because I had to look this up.
Yeah.
The actual AG for the state of Florida, and the reason why is because of the potential money loss for the city and the university and the people that would have done it and all that, and that goes down to contract works and how it goes with everything. That has something that and that's a civil case. It's not criminal.
So they wanted to get paid to
Yeah,
keep going.
he's basically. But basically, I mean, I told TJ this before. It's is America. People sue because they want to sue.
Yep.
There was once a lady that sued McDonald's because she bought a coffee, spilled it on herself, and it was hot, and sued McDonald's because it didn't say it was hot when she bought a coffee.
And what'd she do?
Won a lot of money. This is America. People sue all the time for anything and everything. They ain't, and they not. This is just because some people have a lot of money and they could throw it down to the records and sue. That I don't take anything that into consideration. Like if it ain't coming from the football players with NIL deals that would have done it, like because I'm gonna lose money for this game. That it ain't no. They are focused on the game. I feel like that's just everybody else around it.
Yeah.
That's the outside noise. I don't think that's coming from the football program or the coach. I think they want to prove something on the field. And I don't think none of that has to do with them. And I think that should be separated.
And that's the
from
point
that.
I'm about to get across. Mike Norvell is a competitor. He wants to compete in that national championship. He wants to compete in the college football playoff. And if he wants to prove somebody wrong, he's going to go on that field and he's going to say, "We're going to fuck your shit up."
Exactly.
Right there.
Exactly.
He's like
It's
Nick's.
a PG-13 show. No, I'm not. I'm just joking with you.
You got me all scared.
I got you. No, you're good. You're good. Safe up.
All right.
It's
Well,
okay.
anyway, he's just like Kirby Smart in this situation.
Yeah.
Kirby wants to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
He makes up lies about people doubting Georgia when people say Georgia's the best team in the country since week 1. You know.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant strategy for Kirby. You know, I love Kirby, man.
I mean, but
I love
that was Nick Saban's whole argument for to get into the playoff. And Georgia was the best team since week 1.
And once it comes to
I always felt like it was going to be an SEC team.
And that's the way to think because without an SEC team in the playoff, what
Is it a
happens?
playoff?
What happens?
Exactly.
There's no revenue.
And you know what? And then that goes back. We talked about this on the live on Instagram on Right Hand Out Sports.
Yeah.
CJ was on there. It was about I think maybe Monday or Sunday.
It was Monday before.
Monday.
It was before the Gridiron 64 Sports Network. Shout out to them guys.
Shout out to y'all and everybody that tuned in. But we were talking about how it could have been conspiracy about ad sponsors.
Yes.
And how so TJ Little King and me got into this early because we talked about it. We both saw the same thing where college football committee or the people that put on the shows and stuff, they do have to get ad sponsors to put in those advertisements that are 9-figure advertisements. It's like a Super
Right.
Bowl, and they pay a lot of money for you to see. If it's a blowout game, guess what? You're skipping through it. You're not going to watch it. You're not going to miss those commercials.
Hell
that
no.
go. No, you're going to miss those. And those advertisers have to go back to the same people the next year and be like, why do I want to respend that same money with you if I know it's going to be a blowout?
Yeah.
Now, that is, it's a conspiracy. Those are just rumors. It's not like, we were taking it to a whole other thing. Like, Drew PM should be here for the conspiracies.
Yeah.
But that's just what that's what we think, right? That's just something that we're saying because a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah.
And there's might be some validity. There might not.
I
But
think
it's an
I think-
idea to think of.
Yeah, and a lot of people bring up the TCU and Georgia
Yes,
game,
because
for
of-
instance.
yeah.
But people seem to forget
TCU won a game to get there.
TCU beat Michigan to get there. And a lot of people were talking that shit, but guess who didn't talk that shit about TCU losing to Michigan? This fucking guy. This guy said that TCU would control the game, which they did.
They did.
TCU would give J.J. McCarthy some trouble, which they did. Without Blake Corum, they would have trouble. And guess what happened? Without Blake Corum, they had trouble. Now they started to find their rhythm throughout the game. But guess what? Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston with that, I forgot how many yards that was.
Yeah.
I was actually heading into work when that happened, watching it, and I was actually cheering for TCU because I wanted to see a Texas team in the national championship.
Yeah, of course.
And this was TCU's moment.
This was their shot.
And a lot of people talking about, well, TCU got blown out 65-7 in the national. They beat Michigan.
Yeah. So a lot,
And I still get into arguments with these Michigan fans that talk that shit about TCU.
and that's why that was another argument for me on Florida State. Like, what if they would have won the first round and make it to the next one? We would still be complaining that they had
I
a backup?
wouldn't.
But you don't know until it's there.
Exactly.
And it's okay. They're not there. It's not going to happen. So their only way to make it seem like they had a choice is they have to beat Georgia. But we're going to move on.
But
but
one more thing before we go on that one. Don't blame TCU on that. Blame the team up north. You're welcome, Ohio State fans.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all already talked about how they went from 8-4 and all that.
Yeah. We was on that one. Okay, so we went into college football. We went into the playoffs. Well, as you know, we now know who the Heisman winner is. Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that right now.
I
We're
should
gonna
have
get
bet
you-
on that.
Yeah, I mean, I called it. I called the Final Four. I had it on there. I had Marvin Harrison Jr. as my wild card on it. You can go look back episode 6, episode 7.
Yeah.
I put it on there just because of the numbers he was doing. But we already know Jaden Daniels, LSU, quarterback, Heisman winner. What are your thoughts on it?
Should have been T'Vondre Sweat. I'm just kidding. No, I love me some T Sweat, man. I do, but realistically, it should have been Jaden Daniels.
It should have. Yeah, his numbers were.
For one, he was the LSU offense. He was.
He was
because what he wasn't going to play defense for him.
No,
they
he's
they
not
have
Travis
horrific
Hunter.
defense.
No, okay, so in case you don't know, you didn't watch LSU this year. Jaden Daniels played QB1 and RB1 for the same team. Just in case you didn't know.
Damn near Lamar Jackson that shit.
Dude put up. I'm gonna show. I got his numbers right.
Before we get into his stats,
Yeah,
he did this at Arizona State.
he did. He's a transfer.
Transferred
portal
over.
Transfer portal. We're gonna get
And
into that too.
Arizona State, they cleaned out his locker and said,
Yeah, they did. They said he was trash. They said,
said-
yeah, clean out his stuff. He's trash. He's garbage. We don't want him here.
He's
Who's the
shitty
Heisman
anyway.
now? Who's the Heisman now? Yeah, it's all over TikTok and everything. We got it right on Sports page.
Coach Herm, right?
Yeah, Herm Edwards. Play for Herm Edwards. Play for Herm Edwards of the Sun Devils, Arizona State. But look,
yeah, go get tested now, Arizona State.
Right,
I know
so-
y'all have a lot of diseases over there.
so safety first, y'all. So the numbers are out. So with the numbers out, he threw over 3,100 passing yards this year.
Yeah.
Third in the country, right? Homeboy ran for over 1,100 rushing yards.
Which is
First in the country.
And that's insane for
A quarterback.
a quarterback in the SEC, let alone
A quarterback.
SEC.
Those are
West.
SEC running back all conference numbers. This dude had 10 touchdowns, over 1,100 rushing yards at 8.4 carries a rush. All right, the winner of the best running back in college, right? Old boy from God, was he Georgia? Goldie man. Sorry, he won it. I apologize that I messed up, but he only averaged 6.7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Only 6.7 yards a carry. Jaden Daniels 8.4 as a quarterback. He had a less than 100 carry attempts, less than a the running back that won the best running back in college football, and he still put up 1,100 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, threw 3,100 yards, 40 touchdowns, so 50 touchdowns in total, and only 4 interceptions in the SEC.
Yeah, that's
50-4.
And usually the SEC has
And
some of the
an
best
LSU team.
secondary. Some of the best second. SEC West in general.
Is brutal.
It's a brutal conference, brutal division.
It really is. I mean, because LSU has to play. Like, don't get it wrong. Even though the records don't show that they were as good as they were this year, but like LSU versus Florida is it's a prominent game. It's a real game. LSU versus A&M at the end of the year, that's a real rivalry game. That's a real game where like that matters. And LSU showed up at the end. He did. I feel like that also helped solidify his Heisman thing.
So didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
The best running back was Ollie Gordon from
Ollie,
Oklahoma State,
okay, Oklahoma
which
State.
I did say that Ollie Gordon was going to win that best running back. That's an interesting story too.
38 yards.
Yeah, 38 yards in the Big 12 championship.
Okay, so I forgive our producer in the back, DJ Little King, right? He be cutting into the show sometimes.
But
for the guy that wants to talk with no microphone, we should just give him a microphone. I don't know why he just hop in. We tell him to hop in all the time. I don't want to be on there. Hop in. No,
Man,
he's just playing.
Turn this into a Howard Stern show.
Right,
bring Beetlejuice up in here.
We're gonna get it. No, but yeah, he didn't do anything he didn't do anything in the championship game against Texas.
Was my point about
Oklahoma
Texas.
State versus Texas. I was gonna say TU, but you're here. I'll get respect, y'all.
Oh, come on! It's okay to poke fun.
It's not.
It's okay to poke
It's not
fun at
the
Big
first
Brother.
university in the state of Texas. See, I told
But
you.
here we go.
You just
Here we
doesn't
go.
like it. It's okay.
Before we get into it.
11:30 next year, Ridin Night Sports, Kyle Field. We will be there. Y'all go there. We're gonna be tailgating. I'm saying it now, but go on.
Yeah. But back to Jaden Daniels. I think he deserved the Heisman Trophy.
He did. He's the best player.
He was definitely the best player in the country. A guy that I really like coming up in 2024 that could possibly win it. A kid that really struggled in the first part of the season, first 3 games. Mm-hmm. Third game he didn't even play because they thought they needed a better quarterback, but they didn't have shit. Was Jalen Milroe. I think Milroe has a good chance of winning it next year. But then you have my boy Quintavious Ewers from the University of Texas.
Dave Portnoy was talking mess on.
Of course he does. He doesn't know anything. He's just happy because Michigan's gonna go back and lose another semifinals.
Who his front runners are for next year.
But I think it'll be Milroe, Ewers. I think Ollie Gordon has a good chance next year.
Yeah.
And
I like Judkins from Ole Miss.
He's nice.
He's nice.
He is.
So far I got 3, but once we get the PvP up and rolling, I am going to be on it. Yeah. But anyway, back to what we were just talking about. Jaden Daniels is an incredible player, but
yeah, he was. He did really great this year.
As far as a passer, though, I definitely disagree with the Davey O'Brien Award for that. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, it should have been either Bo Nix or Michael Penix. More towards.
I had Bo Nix.
I had
Bo Nix.
I had Penix, but I do understand why Bo Nix would win.
I had Bo Nix.
It's neck and neck between those two.
Yeah, they're the same. It's a coin flip for them.
It really is. Like,
So, how do you feel about then Marvin Harris Jr. winning the best wide receiver award?
he only got it because of his dad's name.
Do you think he only got it because of his dad's name, or do you think he got it because he was a Heisman finalist? That's why I think he got it, because he was a finalist as a Heisman. He did not. No, and I don't. I know who I would have picked, and you said it earlier before the show started, and I know the fans don't know because, and I thought you were going to say the guy I thought. So I'm excited for you to bring this guy into the conversation. So who do you think should have won best wide receiver in the country?
So the winner of the Belikanov should have been Roma Duns, but I have a feeling. Yeah. Washington's got a good wide receiver right
Yeah,
there.
he's got a good one.
But,
he's got a good one.
But I have a feeling that you got a difference maker for a certain SEC school
Yep.
that brought them to 10-2.
No.
Not Luther Burden.
No. See,
What?
I feel like this kid. The only
I
reason
swear
why.
to God, if this is Anais Smith or
No.
whatever.
Anais Smith would probably be my best running back coming out of the SEC for A&M in a long time. But after A-Chain last year, like his speed and everything, like I'm really excited. No, but I'm talking about LSU's wide receiver.
Oh, Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only reason why he didn't is because Jaden is on the same team, and I don't think they would have put two people on the same team as a Heisman finalist. And I think if you look at his numbers, he has better numbers than Marvin Harrison Jr. He's 500,
way better.
500 yards more.
Are you talking about Lindekoff or Heisman? Because I thought you were on
We're talking about the best wide receiver.
Blickenhoff.
And that's why I think he should have been it.
Yes.
He was the best wide receiver to me in the country at LSU.
That I do agree with right there. I mean, Neighbors is he's a dog. You know,
I know, bro. He was, and I feel like
he plays against really good secondary.
And if it wasn't for Jay, and I get it, if it wasn't for Jaden, he wouldn't get those. But at the same time, he's got to catch the ball. He's got to be open on those.
I
routes.
mean, he
He's gotta
does
make
have
it
a lot
happen.
of drops on his resume.
Yeah,
he
he
does make very crucial mistakes. Not like Kadarius Toney. We're not going to talk about that.
But I do feel like he was the best wide receiver, and the reason why is because Jaden Daniels was getting. You weren't gonna have two. You weren't gonna have You weren't gonna have two Heisman finalists from the same school.
Last time I saw that was Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. Yeah, and honestly, Vince Young should have won that, but it went to
But you're never
Bush.
gonna see that again. You won't.
You won't.
You won't. And I feel like that's why he got. But I think he should have won the best wide receiver though.
And I'll be honest, if you ever see two people from the same team, it's either that team's really good and people think that they think that that team is so special that two of them need to be up there, or college football is at an all-time low.
It's really hard. I haven't seen any those probably two would be the best two I've seen on a team in a long time. And I would say it would be no different than why Reggie Bush made Matt Leinart a Heisman finalist because the way Reggie Bush ran the ball is why Matt Leinart could throw the ball the way he did.
Even though Matt Leinart won it the year before.
Yep. But I feel like that's why you saw that, and I could see that, and I don't think they were going to do that again in this system. But let's move on now that we're done with that. We're going to go into a little bit into basketball. I know you're not crazy into it. It's really great. They're the in-season tournament. It finally ended up.
Hey, last week I fucked around and hit a triple-double, though.
All right, Ice Cube.
Favorite rapper, by the way. Shout out to Ice Cube.
Right. So the in-season tournament ended. Lakers won. LeBron was the MVP. Everyone on the team got a $500,000 bonus cash. Right?
Yeah.
So they all won that in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Really good thing. But I do know you came in because you talked about it as soon as you sat in the door and you saw this. We were going to talk about the in-season tournament, but breaking news before we had up to the podcast, Draymond Green suspended indefinitely now. And because it's like you could only talk about Draymond so much about his antics and what he does and what's going on. You being a sports commentator on the high school and somewhat college level and on the games, you can talk about this. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. But you brought it up as soon as you came in talking about. Did you see it? I was like, yeah, bro. We saw it right before we came on. Draymond Green suspended indefinitely now. How do you feel about it?
That motherfucker needs to go to prison. How many times does the NBA have to bring this motherfucker back just to fucking do something stupid? This is exactly like Antonio Brown, dog. Like, come on. That motherfucker needs to go to federal prison or something. Like,
I'm not
Jesus
going that
Christ,
far,
man.
He need to go to county for a little while.
No, he just
He need to catch 60-day bid real quick.
No, take
little 30 day.
Nah, take that motherfucker to federal.
Put it on A&E, 30 days in. Whatever the fuck that shit's called.
No, send that motherfucker. Put him on that Hannibal Lecter fucking stretcher.
Send him to the annex. God,
but
damn. I mean, okay, I was defending him until I saw this. And there's no defending him. You knew what he was doing. I would have been happier if he just threw a real punch. I ain't even gonna lie. If he would have just stood up and threw a real punch, I would have just been like, my man. Or there we go. Like, fuck yes. Like, I would have been way happier. That cowardly shit. Nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, skip to my loose slap, oh boy. When you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have had way more respect for you, bro. Now I don't. Like, now I know you a little punk. And now I know why Pat Beverly be talking to you on the podcast talking about, like, he only picks people that he knows ain't going to retaliate. Yeah. And now I feel like that's true. So, because that boy don't even look like he could swing. Like, he looked like if you would have been up one-on-one with him, like, nah. So, he's that type of guy that he got to go. You went to high school with. Yeah. He's that type of guy that talks shit in the background, like, motherfucker, I'll fuck your ass up, and then goes to the bathroom. Yeah, he the instigator. Yeah, we got a lot of them friends. Yeah, I mean, they ain't all our friends anymore, but we be running into them at the club. Yeah, trying to hang out with us.
I've seen a lot of those in Jacksonville.
They be the ones like, man, can I take a picture with your bottle? No.
Maybe he needs to go to Duval County and get a rubber tug. I don't know. First I asked Deshaun Watson to do it. He didn't listen to me. He got the rub and tug from Cleveland. Now we got to.
He hurt.
Now he hurt.
All right, going from rub and tug, I guess going from rub and tug. Oh my God, bro! What did we turn the show into? All right, no, but like seriously though, going from there, we're gonna talk about, because I know you heard this. We say in communication, Cam Newton, his statements. Yeah. Today, Cam Newton's statements were out. It's all over. You could check it. Everybody's been talking about it. It came out. It broke where he is calling Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Tua, and I believe he put Jalen Hurts in there. Did he put Jalen Hurts in there? I'm not sure.
I didn't hear all of it, but
he called them game managers. They are not game changers. They are not difference makers. They are game managers, and they can easily be replaced. They're only in the game not to lose it. They're not in the game to make a difference. I've heard two different arguments to this. I want to know what you think about it, because I can go on both sides on it. I have my thoughts on it, but at the same time, I can probably understand why he comes where he's coming from, because he is only the one person in NFL history to do something that's never been done before.
Exactly.
And so, I get why he thinks that way. But I get why he thinks that way, but do I think he's speaking out of pocket? Yes.
So
you got to remember, you got to think from his competitive mind and his mindset, because those are his statements. Those are his words. It's like, do you understand why he says it?
I do personally, and he also mentioned Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he did put Matt Mahomes in there. Yeah, you're right, and that threw me off.
So too. I just saw that, by the way.
What do you big cigars he be smoking on that show?
There's a reason why it's called 4th and 1. It's taking him too long to cross that line.
But I tell you this, from a Dak Prescott perspective, he's not a game changer. He's a really good game manager, you know, and he's got multiple weapons on the outside, you know. CeeDee Lamb, for example, game changer, you know, but like he said, they're game managers for a reason, and it's not a bad thing to call him a game manager.
It's not. I don't think it's a bad thing to call him a game manager.
The way I took it is that they're not going to think about it this way. Cam Newton was a game changer.
Yeah.
He was a game changer.
He was, yeah.
If anybody has any credentials to say it is
and
Cam
that's why I understand where he's coming from.
Michael Vick, game changer.
Game changer. You got to remember, Cam Newton, in case y'all don't know, fun fact, the only player in NFL history
to
have a JUCO national championship.
Blaine College.
Shout out to the Ben Buccaneers, right?
Yep.
Have a national college championship with the Auburn Tigers.
Yep.
Actually go to the Super Bowl.
NFC Championship, NFL MVP.
NFL MVP.
15-1 in 2015.
No one's ever done that. Nobody has done all those things. And I believe, if you really want to go into it, I believe it's a high school football championship and something else as well.
Yeah.
But, like, for nobody's ever done that ever. No one's been a national champ, a Super Bowl MVP, an MVP, and, what was the last one I just said?
NFC Conference champion.
NFC Conference champion, and then do it also at the JUCO logo. Nobody's ever done that.
But you know what?
That's why he wore number one.
You know what? Everybody's going to say, well, he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
neither did Dan Marino.
And Dan Marino is one of the best quarterbacks to ever to play. So I totally get that. But what people don't understand, and I feel like they forget, is like, because you could also say the opposite to Cam Newton. He played 11 seasons in the NFL, and only 2 of those seasons he threw better than a 62% completion rating.
Yeah.
Right? So like you have your tips and tops. Like, you're a winner, but at the same time your numbers don't back it. But that also goes for like Brett Favre. Brett Favre is the number 1 leader in interceptions, but he's also the number 1 person to throw most touchdowns. Like,
you could say the same about Jameis.
You can say a lot of things about a lot of them. It can go either way.
Yeah.
But all they do have in common is winners know how to win. Yeah. And people know how to. You can manage the game and be a winner at the most elite level. Some might say Tom Brady is a game manager, the best game manager ever, right? He might not be all flashy, but he manages it. Another one would be a great example is Tim Duncan, one of the greatest power forwards of all time. He is not flashy, but he is a game manager. He has rebounds. He stacks up his things. And at the end of the night, before you know it, he's got a triple-double. You don't even know how because he just managed it. Derek's jumping in right now.
I don't think a center can be a game manager.
He's a power forward.
I mean, a power forward or a center or a small forward.
What about Kareem?
I think those dudes were beasts. Like,
that's the position he played.
Beast. In my mind, like when I think of a game manager on the basketball court, I think of like
the point guard.
Yeah, like a Pat Bev. Like,
Yeah. I get it. But I feel like, what I'm saying is like for that team, that's their leader. That's their game manager. It all flew through, like that game flew through them. Like it would have to go through that one person.
Someone that's not necessarily putting up the stats. They're not doing really nothing for us to win, but they're not doing nothing for us to lose.
So like Duke.
No, I'm just saying like my example.
Yeah, like it's all role players.
McElroy,
like so all role player, like role player.
No, he didn't do nothing to help Alabama win, but
he didn't do nothing to drop them off.
He contributed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I get it, but I also feel like a game manager could also be looked like as somebody as an elite level that knows how to facilitate the right people.
You're not a game manager.
No, because they look. So there's two different things. There was an example
I see where he's going with it.
there was an example. There's an example that somebody said that I thought that made sense to me, right? And it says like some of these quarterbacks are either cooks or they're chefs, right?
Ooh.
You know what a cook is? A cook is somebody that knows how to read the recipe, make it how it needs to be, and get it done. There's very few chefs that you could just throw out there, give them a bunch of different ingredients, and they're going to cook it up and serve you like it was a recipe. Yeah. Those people are what you would call elite. I think the cooks are game managers. They know what we needs to be done. We can get it on a timely basis. You could do that and still win. There's very few people that you can just throw into a system and they don't need no freaking quarterback or no. And they throw it, and that is the difference. And that's what I say.
Well, me personally, thinking about QB play in today's NFL, it's fucking horrendous.
Yes,
it is. It is some of the worst. No, it is the worst quarterback play I have ever seen. Frank Tarkenton could play better quarterback play in today's NFL than this shit. And we all know how old that geezer is, you know. Yeah. But I saw something earlier today. It's from a Twitter account called Awful Announcing. Mm-hmm. You can check them out at Awful Announcing. Kimberly Martin, said she reacted to Cam Newton calling Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott, and many more
game managers,
including Pat Mahomes, game managers. And she goes, in the year of 2023, where it's all about NFL QB or NFL backups, which
it is.
It is. Okay, well, where is Cam?
He's at home.
He's at home making money.
Yep.
Smoking his yak.
Yep.
I saw this. Smoking his cig.
I think she was on First Take.
And
right.
Or no, she's on Get Up. So you know how bad she is.
Yeah.
Not on an NFL roster, right?
Exactly.
He's talking about all these NFL game managers. He sounds like the people literally tweeting at me from their basement, like, get back in the kitchen. Like, you're at home watching me. Okay. I have a harsh take about her.
Me too. We get
okay. I'm going to let you go first because I am going to be brutally honest.
You can't say that to somebody that it has won a JUCO championship, a national championship, been in the Super Bowl, been an MVP. You can't talk to somebody like that that's actually been there and done it and knows what it takes to be a game changer because he was a game changer. You can't say that.
Yeah.
You have no validity in that profession other than covering it and what you've seen with your own eyes. You have not put in the time and the effort to train. You have not put in the time and the effort to read the playbook, to do the scouting, to do none of that. He has. So I understand where you're coming from as a commentator. I get it because you probably get a lot of hate mail on Twitter or X or whatever you want to say from people in those basements, and I understand that, and that's wrong. But you can't bash him for having an opinion. A lot of people believe Michael Jordan is better than LeBron, and there's a lot of sports athletes out there that go different ways. Yeah. Don't matter. You know what? They have the validity because they play the game. They know what it is. He's been it on the high level, been at the highest stage. Not saying he's not out of pocket with the comment, but you have to give him his stage because he deserved it. He's earned his own roses.
That was a nice way of putting it. Okay. I'm sorry, Kimberly. But you sound like a fucking moron when you talk on Get Up. Okay? Kimberly, you're the type of person that I don't want to see on Get Up or anything on ESPN or anything on NFL Network. Hell, I don't even want you on Chris 6 News. Okay? You're fucking horrible. And first of all, have you ever played the position? Do you know what it takes to be a game manager? Okay, how about this? You tell me the difference between a 2 technique and a 3 technique on the defensive line. Let me know what a stunt and a twist is, and then let me know what the difference is between cover 2 and cover 3. I guarantee you, she can't even tell me which is the right lineman. She couldn't tell me what the line what the right tackle is. She couldn't tell me what a running back was. She probably couldn't even tell me what color shoes I have on.
I'm not gonna go that far, but we get the point.
For you to make it a little bit more personal towards Cam,
she's on ESPN. I think she knows where the running back is. But yeah, I understand. We're moving on. Just because you two don't cancel us.
Sorry, I'm a little
bit. No. But straight up though, like she was out of pocket, straight out of pocket,
way out of pocket,
out of pocket. But continue on. Yeah, she was out of pocket.
And my point is this: Cam's been there, done that. What have you done, Kimberly? As far as NFL, or even played football. Have you ever put on shoulder pads? Have you even put on a helmet? No, you haven't. I know there's women out there that do know football because they grew up in that lifestyle. You look like you have never grown up in that lifestyle. So for you to go after Cam like that is ridiculous. Just be like, well, I think he's a bit wrong here, but
yeah. I mean,
that's all you have to say.
I don't think she had to attack him. I think she was out of pocket with that.
She was way.
He was out of pocket with that lady. But I understand, like, you're just trying to be relevant. That's your angle on it. I get it.
I mean, I'm trying to be relevant, but I'm
me
right
too. Like, I'm
it.
trying to be relevant because I'm talking about you, right? Because you made these headlines.
But we're right about it.
But I'm not also like, you know, I ain't trying to bash it. But I don't know about
that's
TJ.
Like
TJ trying to bash you.
I
woke
up with violence
like,
today.
Real, like you was really out of pocket with that because Cam deserves every right to say what he wants on his own podcast. It's his own thing. He has every right. That's his business. He puts his money into it.
Yeah.
He does, and he has. And you know what? He's been there.
He's
like,
probably gonna respond.
Yeah,
too.
and I can't. Yeah.
He's probably gonna laugh at that shit.
It is, but it's crazy. But it's all good. We're gonna keep moving on. Now we're gonna go straight into the games of the week. Woo! We got the games of the week. So we got one college game this week. We got New Mexico State versus Fresno State. The only game actually this week that actually has the best records in the season in the weekend. New Mexico State is 10-4 versus Fresno State, which is 8-4. Remember, New Mexico State beat Auburn, which made it very, very competitive against Alabama before they beat Georgia in the SEC championship. And Fresno State, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, they've been doing good all year. 8-4. I think this is their second year, third year. No, it started.
Both season already started.
I don't want to lie and say I don't know. I know
Saturday.
I think they start
a.m.
Saturday. Yeah, Gary, check it real quick, Gary.
It starts Saturday.
Gary,
Thank you, Gary.
thanks, Gary.
Gary, I'm doing your job, dude.
It's okay. We're gonna yell at Gary very later.
Oh yeah,
we yell at Gary.
Don't yell at him. He's a good boy.
Yeah, he's an intern. It's okay. It's all right. He doesn't get paid, so we can yell at him. He's trying to get his college credit.
Shit, I don't get paid, and I do good.
I know. It's all right. Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary. You're doing good, Gary. You're doing good.
Clap it up for him. But
you're good.
You said
quit responding to the DMs in the weird way. No, he's a cool kid.
Yeah.
But moving on. So like New Mexico State, Fresno State. Who do you got?
Well, I think this is gonna be a good game. Honestly, Fresno State always plays well, and New Mexico State has been very impressive. Very impressive, and I do believe they did win the Conference USA championship, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
So I'm going to have to lean towards New Mexico State on this one. I don't know about how much, but I am going to pick the New Mexico State Aggies to win this game.
I knew you were going to say. See, I am going to go also with the fake Aggies. I'm going to go with them. I am picking New Mexico State.
Hold on. What's this rivalry between Texas A&M and New Mexico State? They have no beef. They got the same.
We do play them a lot. We play them like almost every other year.
Yeah, why?
Because they just need a reminder of who a real Aggie is. That's all.
I don't know about that.
Usually we win. It's all right. That's how it happens at Kyle Field. You got to pay your little brother to come around every now and then.
Oh, that's right. So that's why the SEC needed us.
Yeah, sure. No, but I am going with New Mexico State. They're actually a really good team. I've seen them play plenty of times, and they're very competitive. They are strong off the ball. They have a good coaching staff. They're well disciplined. Fresno State also as well. I just think New Mexico State has been battle tested a little bit more this year than Fresno State, and I think they're going to take it. I have it 21-14, New Mexico State.
Wow. That's pretty low.
Yeah, I think once they figure each other out, it's going to be a pretty dominant team on defensive side, and they're going to really be trying to work running the ball, and because they can't run the ball on each other, I think that passing game is going to slow the scoring down. So I got 21-14, New Mexico State.
I think it'll lean towards. It'll be much closer. I think it'll be like a 27-21, 28-24 maybe.
It's not bad. I don't think it's going over 30 points. No, on either side.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go over 50.
All right. Another game that's coming up this weekend. It's a big game. Cowboys-Bills. Bills 7-6, Cowboys 10-3. Both coming off great, huge wins. Cowboys over the Eagles. Shout out to Alex Gates. I know it was a tough loss. But shout out to you, man. I had a great time at the toy drive with you and Skateboard Universal. But they did lose. Maybe actually their second loss back-to-back blowout losses, the 49ers, then on the Cowboys. And the Bills just came off in a really impressive win against the Chiefs. Who do you got? Cowboys, Bills. I know you're a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I wanted to pick Cowboys because I'm a Cowboys fan, but objectively, who do you got?
We keep it real here on the Ridin Sports podcast. So I love what Dallas is doing and what Dak's been doing lately, and I think he did prove himself facing a pretty good defense in Philadelphia, even though they are kind of banged up and whatnot. Buffalo, they are kind of hitting their stride as of late, but I'm really not convinced with Buffalo right now. I know they had their big win in Arrowhead, and Patrick Mahomes is crying from his couch saying that it's not a flag when there should have been multiple flags on that play. You know, illegal formation, lineman in the backfield, and Kadarius Toney just fucking up in general. So I think this will be a very close game. Simple fact that, just because it's going to be a defensive battle, I think. And I don't think Josh Allen is as good as a quarterback as people think he is. Okay. Like I said earlier, that quarterback play is at an all-time low. Yeah. I think Dak is actually performing really well.
He is.
And he earned his name back with me. He's not Dakota no longer, so congratulations. Congratulations to Dak on fulfilling that.
I'm pretty sure he. I think he was like, man. TJ said I'm not. I'm now.
He heard what I said earlier.
He heard what you said. He heard.
Yeah, he said, "Damn, that motherfucker's not calling me Dak anymore. He's calling me by my government name. What the hell is this?"
So you're gonna go boys over the Bills.
I am gonna go with the Cowboys. I think they win by 3. I think it's gonna be a very close game. Defensive battle. I think it's gonna come down to a Micah Parsons sack. Strip sack, and the Cowboys seal it. But yeah,
I want the Cowboys to win. I think the Cowboys are going to win. I think the Bills are. They're coming off that great win off Kansas City, but at the same time, Kansas City's on a decline. They're not on the incline. They're not playing their best game. I think the Bills didn't get a great challenge. I think they got a great win on a great team with a great record. I don't think they got a great outstanding team that really showed, what they needed to do. But I got Cowboys over Bills. I have it 35-21.
Wow. That's pretty high.
I got them by 14. I got them by 2.
I got
them as a 2-touchdown favorite.
I had it like 2017.
No.
Or maybe 24-21.
I think that the adrenaline and everything, the hype from Seahawks to the Eagles, I don't think anybody, until they place the 49ers, I think they're going to have that pedal to the metal and it ain't going to stop.
That's a good point, though.
I that's how I see it. Yeah, they're on a roll. They're on a roll right now, and then I feel like when they see the 49ers,
as long as you're not Skip Bayless saying that, I think if we meet the 49ers again, we will beat them.
I see them in the next 3 games going 2-3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good possibility, man.
So
It
I have
really
that's
is.
how I would have it. Last one, Thursday night football. You know we do it every always do Thursday night football.
Yeah.
Chargers and Raiders, 5-8, 5-8. Who's getting to their 6th win first?
Easton Stick or Raiders defense. Oh my God, this is such a horrible game. So why do they pick the worst games on Thursday night?
I don't know, but we do every Thursday night game, so it doesn't matter who it is.
I
We
know
have to talk about
it's
I
not
always thought that too.
it's
Yeah,
it's
it
not
is
it's
terrible.
It's
Everyone
nobody's
think-
fault but the
Yeah,
it's
every team
Amazon.
every
I'm blaming
team gets
it
a
on
primetime
Amazon.
slot.
They should wait till Monday to pick the team.
See, I feel like you know how they do the draft. They should do that with primetime slots on teams.
Ooh, that should be a good point.
Like you know how like the worse you are, you get the first pick,
Yeah.
but the worse you are is the least amount of times you're on primetime.
That's how it used to be.
Like I feel like that's how it should be.
exactly.
The only team that ever excluded that was the Detroit Lions for Thanksgiving, but because they had a contract. Other than that, like I feel like that's what they should do.
You know, the Lions are on a downhill slope as
Yeah,
of
they
late.
are. They are. They are. They're not.
And
they're not
I
playing
think
as
I
they were.
called that with a PJ. If you're not listening, I did say that the Lions were going to slump down a little bit, and maybe the Vikings might take that division.
I don't know.
don't know.
I think
It's
the
a
Lions
little-
still have it.
But anyway.
But yeah, back to Chargers Raiders.
It's really hard for me to take this one because
I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders are.
I'm going Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders. I mean, there's no other way. That loss was a ugly loss. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. To lose a game 3-0 in an NFL game, are you freaking kidding me?
It's pretty bad.
Like,
pretty
that's-
bad. But I have the Raiders though.
Yeah,
got the
that's
Raiders.
like
Who
lose.
lost 3-0? The Raiders did?
Raiders lost to the Vikings.
Yeah.
3-0.
But
That-
yeah, the Vikings are gonna take the division.
Yeah,
See,
I mean,
like it go-
I said that like 2 months ago, though. You know,
No,
but
I know. The they no Raiders got it. They just had a bad week.
yeah,
And then
I agree.
That's gonna go straight into my parlay picks. Y'all know what it is. If you watched the last episode and you got my picks, you want some money. We went 100%. You know, the week before we were 75%. This week we got another 3-game parlay pick. Let it know. Remember, don't spend your rent money. Don't spend your light bill money. This is just if I were betting, this is how I would bet. If you want to bet with me, bet with me. But we up for the year.
Yeah.
We winning. Like TJ say, we got to risk it for the biscuit. So
Damn, he uses my quotes now.
yeah, we.
Woo!
But it's okay. You get cited. You get cited for it. You get credited for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on there.
Exactly.
So my first one on my parlay is I got wide receivers. Devonta. All right, so I got Devonta Adams for the Raiders. I got him over 5.5 receptions.
That I like that against the Chargers.
Yeah. He's actually hit this line 3 out of the last 4
Yeah.
games. So I think he could turn it into 4 out of 5.
Now
especially
they
with
just
the
need to score.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really on these weeks. Bets you're gonna see they're not really based on scoring. It's really just like their statistics, probably.
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
defense. That's why I have him on 5.5 receptions. I think he can get 7, but 6 realistically throughout the game. I'm going with it. Next one I got on that, Elker, the running back for the Chargers. I got him on also another 26.5 reception yards.
Wow, 26.5?
Yeah. Since Herbert's not going to be in there, I think they're going to do a lot of screen plays. I think there's going to
That
be a
is a
lot
good
of
point.
I think a lot of push downs, a little like in and outs real quick, the slants. He's going to be checked
Flare
down.
outs.
Yeah, like a little check downs. I think that's simple. 26.5 over on that. I think he could hit that. He could probably hit 33, 35.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? That,
It helps Easton Stick a little
Yeah.
bit with Austin Eckler
Yep.
back there.
Yeah.
He's a good receiving back.
He
He's
is.
one of the few good backs that
and
we have left.
I think they use them, and he's also hit 3 out of the last 4 games. He's hit that.
Jeez, we're getting.
Yeah, we get into it out
We-
here, bro.
we getting- we getting fired.
Gary showed up with the numbers today.
Hey.
Right? That shout out Gary.
Gary.
Again. Gary. Yeah, Gary shows up with the numbers. So yeah, he's hit 3 out of the last 4. I think he does it again. It's a great, like you said, With just, I think it's easy, it's doable. We're not, like I said, we're not really going off points. We're really just going off statistics and play habits. And then last one, I got Raiders money line. So all 3 money line. Go ahead and drop that 20 on it. See what happens.
Now the real question is, Chargers and Raiders. Are y'all going over and under? What's
that was gonna throw the parlay off, and I want my fans and my listeners to win. I want them to win.
Okay,
money.
my fans. Fans.
He's gonna risk it for the biscuit right now.
Yeah. So my fans, do y'all want to go? Don't go off the parlay on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay.
This is just a poll question.
Yes,
okay.
all right.
Would y'all go over or under, due to the fact that the Raiders lost 3-0 last week, and
what's the number?
Yeah, what is the number actually?
Gary, what's the number?
Gary.
That's why we don't pay you, Gary. Not fast enough. It's all right. He's used to it.
Poor Gary.
He's an intern.
He's an intern.
We give him back to the school when we're done. 34.5. All right.
Yeah, so the Chargers barely beat the Patriots, who...
I'd go under.
Shit, I'd go under fucking 10.
I'd go under. 34.5, I'd get that right now. That's a great under.
Shit, I'll throw $1,000 for under.
The game probably be 14-12.
Yeah.
But that's a great. But those are my parlay picks for my 3. Remember, Devontae Adams over 5.5 receptions. Elker over 26.5 reception yards. Both of them have hit 3 in the last 4 games. And then Raiders money line. Put that on there. Do what you need to do. Wherever you want to bet it. Bet it. Remember, not your last money. Not your rent. Not your light bill. But if it's up to me, and if you're going off our record, hey, we might help you out. But I want to give a shout out to my boy TJ for coming through, man. It's been a great day. Great episode. Episode 10. Riding High Sports here at Riding High Podcast Studios. That's live. It's been nuts. Remember, tell them where they can find you again.
All right. So you can find me on Twitter or X or whatever the hell this app is. X. Yeah, this Brian Eggs, or Xavier Worthy, But you can find me on there at TJ Ridin _PMP. That stands for Pigskin Mafia Podcast. And again, we'll be live on Twitch, not on YouTube anymore, on Twitch after the Super Bowl, a week after the Super Bowl. I'll give you all the exact date. You know what? I'll announce it on here. I might stop by and announce it.
Yeah, he might.
You never know. It might be a Super Bowl party over here, and you know what? I might just throw out the announcement. Tune in this day, Yeah. But you can find me on Facebook for those that care enough to go on Facebook. Tyler Riddell. I'm probably going to attract more with the older crowd because that's what's on Facebook nowadays. You can find me on the Gridiron 64 Sports Network on both YouTube and Facebook. So that covers local high school football sports here. And again, I'm just a football guy that talks a lot of shit. Okay. So don't take my takes too personal because I'm just going to laugh at you.
South Texas football MVP before we get out of here.
South Texas football MVP real quick before we get out. All classes.
So I'm gonna start off with 5A.
No, there's one out of everybody. Just
Okay, so 5A. I'll try to make this quick. I'm gonna have to go with Trevor Long. I mean, that kid is impressive. I met up with his dad before the season and also the first game where they played against Rockport and completely mollywopped them. Very impressive arm mechanics. I think he's going to go somewhere big, not just UTRGV. Shout out to them guys for recruiting.
They're I think they just got Luke Johnson from Carroll.
I think so, too. UT...
Oh, for Vets. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of his dad. His dad went to Carroll.
Yeah. UTRGV and Travis Bush has done a great job recruiting up here. Mm-hmm. It's not just all quarterbacks like Hayden Jacobson and all them guys. It is every skill position that they are trying to get from.
Yeah.
They are trying to represent South Texas, and I'm internally grateful for UTRGV and Travis Bush and Marco Regaldo, who just went to Ingleside also.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Yeah, man. Shout out to South Texas. They're doing it big. They're doing it big.
So 5A, I went with Trevor Long. I think Pelucio would have made it up there, but he kind of had a down year. But still performed well. Number 4A. This is a tough one because we have
Only
much.
one. You only pick one.
I know. And this is going to sound biased, but I'm going with the kid that tied the national single season touchdown.
Without a doubt, man. You tied my homeboy's record.
Say his name before we go.
Yeah, go ahead. Give him props.
The kid's name is Jaden Smith, but he calls himself JC Smith. I call him Mr. Dynamic. He's going to be he actually committed before the season started to North Texas.
UNT.
So watch out for him next season in college football.
Mm-hmm.
You probably won't be surprised when I start calling out his name on the podcast, just talking about how incredible that kid is.
Yeah, dude's awesome.
The kid's a baller. 4 interceptions, 39 touchdowns, 84 receptions, 125 away from 2,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
So you talk about real stats. That's real talk.
All right, who we going 3A?
3A. This is a tough one right here. But with the situation that he was with, lost a lot on his coaching staff. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. This kid's incredible. He should have gotten this offer already. JJ Acosta.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going off of his career, but also he's just a very talented quarterback.
Got you.
What school is this?
Taft. So yeah, I mean, that kid's incredible, and he's a better human off the field than he is.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, and he's one of those kids that is well prepared no matter what. So, and it kind of stings when you lose a head coach and you lose a lot. And J.R. Castellanos had a terrific season with Alice, so it's a good thing that J.R. Castellanos went on and excelled at Alice. And it sucks for J.J. Acosta because he went into a new offense this past season, and obviously things were not good for Taft in the beginning of the season. They lost to Odom, which ended up honestly, Odom deserves a lot more recognition. They won their district, but Taft woke up after that and just
he was the main part.
He's
there you go.
He is the
part. He's the main part.
He's the cog.
He's the glue. Yeah, he's the Jordan Travis.
He is the Jordan Travis.
All right, let's go to number
2A.
Yeah, 2A, 1A, real quick.
2A. Oh man, how could I not go with Refugio's very own? And it's not Ernest Campbell.
Okay.
Jordan King.
Okay, Mr. King. All right, Mr. King.
Well over 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Played defense as well, and that kid is incredible. Honorable mention, I will say Jaden Clay from Edna.
Okay.
Edna's quarterback, Jaden Clay. He's also
shout out
to that kid. He's also being looked at by UTRGV as well. Okay. So, for those that don't know who that kid is incredible. Kid's a stud and a leader. He just played his last season with Edna against Franklin this past weekend. So shout out.
Make sure y'all check him out. Look him up on YouTube and everything. And then let's get that number 1A. Who you got for 1A?
And that's 6-man football right there. Who you got? Shit, I don't even know. I mean, I just talk about.
I never know because you never know. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the six. I guess what was this? What would you say was the equivalent? That's the 6-man with like Van Der Esch that what he played when he grew up in the state. where it was like 7-on-7, and that's all they played up and
Yeah,
down.
I mean-
they had a CBS special.
I
on there,
mean,
too.
I
there's
mean,
a Texas City where they just like they run the table on stuff, and some of them
Yeah.
dudes are like track stars and.
You know what's crazy? They just had the 6-man state championships today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I didn't get to check it yet.
and 6-man is a wild.
It's a high action, high paced game, scoring lot. But man, I want to thank shout out to TJ. I want to thank you for coming through, man. You coming back, you came back, episode 10. It's your boy Ken too. If I can, you can too. This is episode 10 with TJ, Ridin Eye Sports,
10!
live from Ridin Eye Podcast Studio, just like Blush Reviews. It's a 10.
It's a 10. It's a fucking 10.
But you know what it is, man. We out here, Ken too, and we out.